Just pick a niche and start. Don't procrastinate your life away. Some of you have been procrastinating on starting a site for over a year now because you don't know which niche to choose. Wasting time researching, i.e. procrastinating, is the biggest dream killer that exists. There are people watching this right now who will waste their entire life in the research phase. Then there are others who randomly pick something after minimal research and start getting after it. It should be instantly obvious to you which one is more likely to make it. You have to be in the game to win it. Do you want to accomplish something or do you want to look smart? This isn't hypothetical snark. It's a real question that you have to ask yourself. Our society constantly tells you that the most important thing in life is being smart. And that preparing endlessly is what smart people do. Let's say you have two different people. Person A is 25 years old and hates working for the man, so he decides to spend a year of his life getting an MBA. He then spends years working in an industry to learn how it works from the inside. Then, after 5 years, he decides to write a business plan and seek outside funding from investors. Before even starting his business, so he has enough capital to fulfill his ambitious plans. Person B is 25 years old and hates working for the man. He decides to start a website reviewing gardening supplies that he works on before/after his day job. And if you ask him, he'll say, "I don't know what the fuck I'm doing and I'm 100% winging it, but I'll figure it out as I go." If you ask the man on the street which one is more likely to be successful, almost everyone would say person A. Everything in our society is pushing you towards becoming person drone A. Becoming educated and investing in your future sounds great to normies. Your friends will be jealous. Your parents will be proud. You'll sound impressive when talking to chicks at parties. The exact same normies turn their noses up when they hear about someone like person B. Their gut reaction is to assume that he's being reckless and irresponsible. Doesn't he know that you need a 99-point business plan and pieces of embossed paper from prestigious educational institutions to make it? Remember, the masses are wrong about everything. Sure, they can be right about extremely basic facts. I'm sure that the vast majority of people would agree that the sky is blue. But when it comes to complex, abstract things like starting a business, they don't have a clue. The fact is that person B is more likely to make it. While person A is walking around a college campus as a grown man with a backpack. Person B is getting a real business education. When person A is spending time polishing his resume. Person B is spending time polishing his email flow. When person A is writing the first draft of his business plan. Person B is writing his SOP so that he can make his business more attractive to buyers. Researching isn't a phase. Most people are under the impression that researching is something that you do before undertaking an action. They assume that there's some kind of knowledge gathering phase you have to go through. According to this worldview, there will be a point in time where you've gathered sufficient knowledge, and then and only then can you start taking action. The real ones know that research and action are intertwined. You don't gather knowledge and then act. You act and then gather knowledge in order to solve specific problems that you come across while actually doing something. This applies to everything. Do professional basketball players spend their childhood in basketball school where they read case studies of successful NBA players? And write essays about the proper mechanics of dribbling and throwing three-pointers without ever actually putting their feet on the court? Of course not. The idea is preposterous. Everyone intuitively knows that the only way you can learn how to play a sport is by physically doing it. So why wouldn't that apply to running a business? Running a business isn't a purely intellectual exercise like solving a math problem. Businesses exist in the real world, and like anything else that's real, the people who are actually doing it are the ones with the knowledge. Not your professors. Not your high school guidance counselors. And definitely not your family. You can't think your way into success. It's never happened and never will happen. You're not the super genius from the movies that you think you are. What are you going to do now? I know that a ton of you watching this are nodding your head and thinking, fuck, I'm person A and I don't want to be. I'm going to take action, tomorrow. Wrong answer. In 24 hours, tomorrow will be today. And you still won't feel like doing shit. Do you really think I felt like writing this script when I opened up my computer and saw the blank page staring into my soul? Fuck no, I didn't. But I did it anyway. And this is just a side business on top of my main affiliate business that takes up most of my time. Most of you work out. It's the exact same principle that applies when going to the gym. No one ever wants to go to the gym when their alarm goes off in the morning. But once you get there, you realize that it's not that bad. A lot of times you actually really enjoy it once you're there. Running a business is exactly the same. There's a million reasons to procrastinate, but once you get started, it's easy to keep going. Take the first step. I wish I could say that it was the hardest part, but it's not. Every step is hard. Keep taking them. One day you just might end up being the guy who quietly chuckles when you hear about someone going back to school for an MBA. Because you'll be one of the few who knows what it really takes to run a business.